Good morning students. We are going to start our first online class for class 12 geography, as we all are at home because of this lockdown and we are not able to start our classes as we had promised you. But don't worry, we have started this online classes, and if you have any doubts, we will be very soon giving you the schedule for interactive sessions also. So I would like to request all of you to please sit down with a notebook and a pen so that you can note down the notes, as well as you can write down the doubts or the problems which you will come across during this session. So first, I would like to tell you that in geography in class 12, there are two books. Part 1, Fundamentals of Human Geography. Part 2, India and People and Economy. As you all are aware, it's not a new word for you. You have been studying geography as a part of subject social studies, in which you studied about physical features as well as the social and cultural features associated with it. Then you started geography as a discipline in class 11, in which you studied what is basically geography. So if I ask you what is geography, the easiest or the simplest answer which everyone gives is description of Earth. So now the question comes, what do you mean by description of Earth? It means the landforms which we see. It can be in the form of mountains, it can be in the form of plains, plateaus, the water bodies, rivers, seas, oceans and lakes. Beside these, you have studied the phenomena like atmospheric circulation and how it affects the climate of a place or the seasons. And then you have studied the flora and fauna. What was not included in last year's geography is how these features which we see around us, which describes the word geography, affects man, which is the most important part of geography. We cannot separate man from geography. Now we will start the first chapter which is there in your book, that is Human Geography. That is nature and scope. Now what is human geography? As you have seen from the description or what has been discussed above, human geography comes from if you talk about human geography, it means geography has two components. One is physical geography, one is human geography. What is human geography? Human geography means how man adjusts or responds in the given situation or in the given environment. We have also, if I'll try to refresh your memory, that there was a word in class 11, areal differentiation. What does areal differentiation means? It means all the places on earth, if you look around the earth or you look around the globe, you will find the places which are there on the earth are not same. Not same in terms of landforms or in terms of climate or in terms of natural vegetation. That is areal differentiation. And this differentiation, this difference in climate, landform and natural vegetation affects man. So man will respond differently in different environmental conditions. that is what human geography is going to discuss. So human geography, in easiest way, if you would like to say what is human geography is a subject which studies the interrelationship between man and its environment, how man responds to his environment. For example, I give you one example, that if I ask, if you must have heard in news, or must have read in newspaper, farmers in Maharashtra are committing suicide, but you will never come across the farmers in Bihar commit suicide. But why? They are in the same country, they are also growing crops, their livelihood process is same, but why people in one locality having the same profession are committing suicide, and the people who are in Bihar are not committing suicide? Let's see the difference. There is where human geography will explain you the difference, how human is behaving differently in two different locations. If I talk about Maharashtra and Bihar, first let's talk about the geography. What is the topography? Maharashtra topography, it should not be difficult for you because you have studied in class 11. There are plateaus. If I talk about Bihar, it's in plains. Next, talk about the soil. Because it's plateau, so the soil cover will be black. Because we all know that black soil is formed by the disintegration of igneous and metamorphic rock, also known as the lava soil. If I talk about the soil in Bihar, it's alluvial soil. Why? Because Bihar, there are so many rivers, and we also have heard of sorrow of Bihar, that is Kosi river. So wherever rivers are there, we will have fertile alluvial soil. Next, we talk about the crops. What kind of crops they grow? Sorry, before we start with the crops, let's talk about the availability of water, which is very important, because without climatic support and soil support, agriculture is not possible. So what is the condition of water? If we talk about Maharashtra, it's a drought prone area. If I talk about Bihar, Bihar has abundant water because it receives rainfall by southwest monsoon. Now we come to the crops. What kind of crops they grow? Maharashtra, all of you know, if the soil is black, it's famous for growing cotton. Is cotton a subsistence agriculture? No. Cotton is a cash crop. They grow groundnut. Again, a second cash crop. But if I talk about Bihar, they grow rice or other food grains. And that is also for subsistence. The motive of Maharashtra farmers is to grow cash crops for profit. So when you want to earn profit, obviously your investments will be high. They buy high yielding varieties of seeds, they invest a lot in buying seeds and other inputs which are required to grow these crops. So during the drought season, if the crop fails and they are not able to repay their loans, there is a lot of stress and they are not able to take that stress and they commit suicide. Whereas Bihar people, they are very poor, definitely the poverty level is very high. But because they are not growing any cash crop, they are growing food crops, and it's also subsistence kind of agriculture. They grow very little to sell it in the market, so they don't have that stress with them, so they don't commit suicide. So this example I wanted to give you just to show why we need to study geography in terms of human geography, because human geography will tell you that people respond differently in different environmental conditions. How the environment changes, the man will change. For example, if I talk about your class is a mixed class. So there are many students who are from hills, some are from plains. Now the students who have come from hills and the students who are from plains, do you think the behavior of these children is same? No. The reason is because they belong to different environmental condition. You will find the students who are from hills Rather, I will not talk about the students, I'll talk about the people from hills. They are very strong. Why? Because throughout their life, they have to travel up and down the hills, and that's why they are very strong. But people in plains, they are not that strong, but they are very intelligent because they are free. They don't have such hardships to think about to get the water or how to grow crops, because everything is very easy. Marco Polo, he is a very famous traveler. Once he traveled, when during his traveling period in India, he said that he made a comment: Indian people are very lazy. Now, what was the reason behind such a statement? He said that India is a tropical country. So it means if it is a tropical country, there is abundant sunshine, because the Tropic of Cancer divides the country into two equal halves. Then he said, if we talk about the availability of water, India is blessed with numerous rivers, lakes, and beside this, India has a monsoon climate, and it brings abundant supply of water in the form of rainfall during the rainy period. If I talk about the soil is fertile because there are so many rivers, and because of the rivers they have fertile alluvial plains. So what is the only thing Indians have to do? They just have to throw the seeds and the crops will grow. You don't have to look after so much. It doesn't need so much of hard work, because we are already blessed with the things, all the natural things which are required to grow crops. So it means that the environment of one area determines your structure, your color of the skin, your behavior. Everything will depend on the environment in which. Now, when we talk about human beings, we know that people in different areas, for example, if I talk about the color of the skin, in some places the color of skin is white, some places it is whitish, some places it is black. Now, what is the reason? Again, we have to come back to the word physical geography. Because if we see the distance from if this is the globe, the places which are near the equator, which receives the direct rays of the sun, will have a black skin. People will have skin black. A little away, they will have a wheatish color. And where sunrise hardly reaches, people have white skin. So the color, the structure, the behavior, the thought process, everything changes with the environment. Human geography wants to discuss that. So today we end our session with this topic, that what we have done today, we have studied what is geography first. Geography refers to the physical features on earth, because geography has two components. One component is physical geography, that is the landforms, the features which we see on the earth, and the other component of human geography is human geography, in which man is the most active thing, how man reacts with the surroundings or the situations given to him, the assimilation of human beings in the given situation, that is human geography. Next, we have seen why we need to study human geography, and we have given one example how people in one country having the same economic activity react differently because the situations are different. We cannot come to a conclusion thinking about the physical features or thinking about the resources which are available to them. Human behavior will differ according to the situations they are put to. For example, if we talk about the settlements, do you think the settlements all over the world is same? It's not. People in cold areas, you have got, in small classes you have studied, they build igloos because it's very cool. In the similar way, I talk about one tribal people here. They make their houses and this tribal people is Bushmen of Kalahari Desert. Where is Kalahari Desert? Africa. us make houses on the surface of earth, but these people, because it's extremely hot, they make their houses, as we know in deserts, roots go deep inside the earth. They make a small hole here, and then slowly and gradually they occupy this place and then make their homes here, because they want to protect themselves from the adverse conditions of climate. So this is how we see that human beings over the earth, whether it is food habits, whether it is clothing, whether it is settlement, or if we talk about the economic activities. For example, if you are in a coastal area, we find people economic activities fishing. If you are very close to forest, for example, the coniferous forest is famous for lumberjacks. So your profession, your economic activity also depends upon the environment. If you are in the plains, people tend to do agriculture. If you are in a plateau region, people are involved in mining. So human geography discusses these factors that in a given situation, in a given environment, your work, your food, your clothing, your everything depends on that given environment. Thank you, students. We will be meeting soon for the next session with the next topic. Thank you.